Okay, now we have the index of, and the splice, and the splice. I left these to the last because they were kind of a little bit more difficult to understand. Just a little. So I'm going to have an array of names. I'm going to create var, array, and then say, okay, this is empty array. I'm going to add names. The first one's going to be John. The second one's going to be Helen. And the third one's going to be, it's going to be Francis. I kind of like that name. Okay. So the first one is going to be the index of, and this one it's the easiest of them. I'm going to say console.log, and I'm going to make reference to the array. I'm going to say dot index of, and inside the index of, I'm going to put one of these elements. I'm going to say Helen. Okay, if I reload the page, it's going to give me the value 1. 1 is the position of Helen inside the array. So pretty much index of, it goes inside the array, it's going to try match whatever you have inside, and if it's found, it's going to give you the position of the element inside the array. If I put Francis, it's going to give me 2, because 0, 1, 2. The position of Francis on the array is 2. Okay, we get 2. Okay, one more thing with index of, what happens if I put Rob, a different name? And just reload the page, I get -1. If we pass an element, and we say index of for an element that's not there, if it's not in the array, it's always gonna be -1. -1s mean that's not found on the array. For example, this is kind of an array method. It's pretty much the same thing. The only thing with an array object, you're gonna have more options, of course. Okay, that's fine. That's the index of, and you can use it for a lot of things. Let's go to the next one. It's going to be the splice. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to say console log. It's going to be kind of hard to explain, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's going to say array dot splice. And inside the splice, we need to pass first a starting point. And it's going to be 1 for this. Just a starting point. It could put 0, 1, 2. But I'm going to put 1. Okay. What it's doing, it's going to the position of 1, which is Helen. It's just grabbing everything that starts from the position from Helen, from this position, to the end. That's why it's giving me Helen Francis. If I do 2, and reload the page, I just get Francis. It's going to this position, and grabbing all the values from this to the end. Okay, that's good. And the splice works kind of just like the pop. If I delete this and create a new array, and do equal, and do the splice, just like before, start from the number 1, and then I console log the array, I do new array, it's going to just output whatever it's grabbing from the 1 to the 2. Okay, that's fine. But if I console log the original array just John. So this method, the splice, it's mutating the original array, just chopping all of this off and putting it inside a different array. So you have to be careful with this. If you want to get this, know that it's going to mess up the original array. That's fine. Now, with the splice, you can start the starting point, but you can also select the ending point. So I'm going to add just one more name. Going to be Mark. I'm going to start with the number 1 and end on position number 2. It's going to grab this one, and then it's going to stop. And if I reload the page, I get Helen and Francis from the splice, and John and Mark for the original array. And that's good. That's the splice method. Now, we have a different one. It's going to be called the slice. I'm going to delete all this again. And the slice, it's kind of like the splice method. There's one difference. I'm going to say var, new array, and then equal, and I'm going to make reference to the array. I'm going to use the slice. I'm going to say again, okay, start on the number 2, and end on the number 3. Just like the splice. So if I reload the page, I need to console log it, sorry. I'm going to go here, console log the new array. If I console log again, okay, so I'm getting Francis. The slice, it starts at the end of the second position, always starts at the end, and it's stopping at the end of the third position. So this is a third, copying this. If I put 1 and 3, I get Helen and Francis. So what's the difference between this and Splice? The main difference is that the starting point is going to be different, but the bigger difference is that if I console log the original array, it's not mutated. It's just creating a new array and copying and putting it inside, but keeping the original array the same. That's the main difference. So if you want to get some values of the array, and you don't want to mutate the array, you should be using slice and not splice. It's pretty much the same idea. Okay, so let's go to the next lecture. We're going to be talking a little bit more about arrays.